Thank you. Report from the Carmel Redevelopment Commission. I see that Commissioner Bowers is not here. Are you prepared to deliver the report?
I do not have a report. I just want to say if you had any questions at this time, I can certainly answer any. My name is Mike Lee. I'm the office manager for the redevelopment department.
Mr. Seidensticker.
Mike, you're likely aware, but Corey gave us all an updated version of the budget.
Correct.
So what I wanted to do was go over a couple of items that at the present time I think this is closer.
Okay.
I still don't think it's right.
Sure.
Lawsuits are settled, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I am told, so you have to let me know, I'm told that we still have repairs to make on the Palladium itself.
That is correct.
Have those all been calculated? Have those all been estimated? Do we know what we're in for in terms of the repairs that are related to any of the previous issues that we've litigated?
We believe at this point that it'll be probably in the range of $200,000 to $250,000. We don't have estimates at this time, but that is based on we're talking to Shield Sex and how much it will be.
Okay, and that's complete back to where we should have been in the first place, right?
Right.
Okay. Are those funds showing up as restricted in your report?
They are under the capital improvements, that $1 million under construction. That is where it would come from.
Okay, so it's not under restricted.
Correct.
Okay. I'd mentioned to Corey as well as to Dave, and this goes to why I don't think your budget's right yet. Okay. We are working off of projections that go back to May of 2014 in terms of revenues.
Sure.
Projections with regard to what is being presented as a budget. The rate has dropped. Mm-hmm. My understanding is that rate, what was reported in the UMBAW report of May 2014 was 1.845 roughly. Today's rate, I'm told, is 1.7959, which if we look at, I believe we're not using the current rate in here in terms of revenues. I also believe if you add that up over a period of time, instead of the UMBAW report showing some $40 to $44 million shortfall, we end up with over $55 million shortfall, because that ends up being about $11 million. And I think that's important because it's a big number. But as I look at this March reformatted edition of the budget, we've gone to the trouble of listing the debt service beginning at line 16 in that budget. And so my question is this. We got certificates of participation, Series 2010C, CCOPS, Illinois Street Bond, 2013 Illinois Street Bond, 2005-2014 PAC lease, 2012 bond, and we end up being, according to this report, we net our revenues and expenses with regard to TIF obligations. We show a negative $81,000. So my question is this: when we go back down to expenditures, down to lines 55 and 56, we have Village Financial Secondary Installment Purchase Contract. Do we consider that to be debt?
Yes.
Okay. So I think that should be moved up into your debt service. 2006 Poet refunding bond, do we consider that to be debt?
Correct.
So I would think that should go up there under the less debt service calculation, and that would make it consistent with the UMBAW report. If we go back to that, we can go to page 16, right, and we'll see that it's listed there. Does that make sense?
Yes, and the reason why it's listed below is because of the revenue deposit agreement. It doesn't list those two items, so we wanted to show after, with the revenue deposit agreement, how those monies come out and what's left over after that. But also, if you'll see in there, it has the Parkwood reserve funds. If you include those in there, it would be a positive balance, but those are also going, according to the revenue deposit agreement, into the supplemental reserve fund. So that is why it's tracked like that at this time.
Okay, and I mean, I just don't agree with that style of accounting.
Okay.
I think you keep all the debts together. And I recognize that effectively, you know, the TIF pass-through, if you will, from Parkwood, you guys don't get to touch it because council said we're putting this away. So it's nice that it's in there and shows up, I guess, effectively as a contra account. But what I think is misleading is by not putting those two items that are debt items, $959,243, $79,954. You add that in, and we're not $81,000 short. We're over $1 million short in TIF revenue versus TIF obligations, and that's why I think that it's important that we move those. I understand that the revenue deposit agreement, you know, you're separating it out for that reason, but that's not what a budget has nothing to do with the RDA.
I'll certainly bring that back to the commission and go forward with it.
Okay, because I think, you know, $1.1 million shortfall is a significant number that is important that we recognize.
Sure.
That is it. Thank you.
Additional questions? Councilor Snyder?
You thought you were going to escape, didn't you, Mike? I think I know the answer. I just want to make sure that I'm correct. In the financial statement and the report that we have before us, the restricted funds are Energy Center, Civic Rent Reserve, Supplemental Reserve Fund that was just alluded to. That is the revenue that coming off of Parkwood East and Parkwood West that we're setting aside just to make sure we have enough money to make the debt. Total is $2.5 million.
Yes.
Okay. Is that last year's end-of-the-year payment and this year's spring payment?
Not the spring payment yet.
Not yet?
No.
So we're scheduled to get another?
Yeah, after we receive the TIF in June, there'll be whatever comes from the Parkwood will go into it then, and then also in December we'll get another payment.
Okay, someplace between 1.2 and 1.3. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything further? Thank you very much. Moving on to item 10, old business.